Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, there's going to be a bit of a yin and yang. We're going to talk about some very concerning things that have come from leaks of Battlefield Labs, and I'm going to try to give everyone a reminder as to what the purpose of Battlefield Labs actually is, because I've seen some people deem the next Battlefield as dead and doomed and Battlefield 2042 number 2 already, and I just think it's kind of fucking embarrassing, but this sort of thing always happens with the Battlefield community anyway. But I do feel as though this needs to be talked about. So, if you do want to follow Battlefield 6, this is a channel for you. Be sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button. Thank you to everyone that does that. Swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. First link in the description. Also, join up on the Discord. All links are in the description. You guys know what's up. So we're going to talk about a few of the concerning things that I hear coming out of Battlefield Labs first, and then I'm going to go into the other subject. So people are freaking out on multiple social media platforms about the weapon balance of Battlefield 6. Now, pause. Let's just all remind ourselves, this is a server playtest for 72 hours people are participating in. And something that's even more important to remember is everything in Battlefield Labs that we hear and see is subject to minor and major changes, including the possibility that some of these things we are hearing about could be literally removed before release. But allow me to pose this question, right? So people are freaking out about the weapon balance in Battlefield Labs. Okay, so when is the last time a pre-alpha Battlefield had completely finished and polished weapon balance? In fact, I'll pose you an even better question. When's the last time we had a completely fleshed out and finished Battlefield game with perfect weapon balance? Feel free to answer that question down below, but I have a feeling I'm going to see a lot of never, not even one time, ever in the history of the fucking game franchise. And yeah, I get it. People are expressing concern because of Battlefield 2042 and DICE's inability to produce anything that doesn't fall flat on its face. And I have to admit that some of the things that I hear definitely are worrying. Apparently, there is an AR in the game that can headshot, body shot you, and it has 700 RPM. And I'm no weapon balance expert, but if you run the math on that TTK, 700 plus RPM AR that can headshot, body shot you, which means it's a 2 BTK, that's sub 100 millisecond time to kill. And if you don't understand what that means, you could die twice over before the average human even reacts. But let's be honest with ourselves, if this AR and all these other weapons I keep hearing about are really this overpowered, are they really going to make it through Battlefield Labs, a system specifically and only set up to test the next Battlefield game before it releases? I'm going to bet no, because if we take a look at Battlefield 2042 and some of that game's most overpowered weapons, like the BSVM for example, that weapon got nerfed, I think, maybe 4 different times in Battlefield 2042's life cycle, and the BSVM wasn't even as overpowered as some of the weapons that I'm talking about in Battlefield Labs. Now, on to something related to the class system and the fact that Assault can allegedly carry 2 primary weapons, and apparently these 2 primary weapons can both have full attachments, and of course with the Battlefield 6 weapon system being completely unrestricted, you can have anything you'd like. You can have an AR with a shotgun, you can have an SMG with a shotgun, you can have a DMR with a sniper, you can have a DMR with a shotgun. Anything that comes to your mind, you can access on the Assault class with this separate perk tree that allows you to access equipping 2 primary weapons. This should go without saying, but you should never be able to equip 2 primary weapons in a Battlefield game. It's just simply too powerful, and I think they should absolutely remove this if it is in Battlefield Labs. I certainly hope it isn't, and these are just like bad leaks. And the same can be said for the next thing I'm going to talk about in this video. Apparently, sniper rifles may have Sweetspots and the ability to one-shot you in the chest from point-blank range. If this does turn out to be true, this is going to be the most overpowered sniping ever in Battlefield history. Because, if you remember correctly, Battlefield 1 snipers only had Sweetspots, which was already overpowered, but it sounds like snipers in Battlefield 6 may also have the ability to be a one-shot kill within a certain distance in CQC combat, probably within like 0 to 20 meters, which is, I think, what they did with Battlefield 2042 sniper rifles before they removed the ability for those to one-shot you. I'm well aware snipers in Battlefield could one-shot you to the chest in previous Battlefield games, most notably in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. There was this whole aggressive recon movement that happened within those games' communities, almost purely based off the fact that you could one-shot people to the chest within close quarters combat in those games. But I always have to say, I just think it's cheap. I was glad when they removed snipers' ability to do that to you in Battlefield 2042, because at the end of the day, if you're even a half-decent player, you understand that you essentially have an extremely accurate shotgun at your disposal, and all it really takes is the knowledge to understand how to position and how to pre-aim, and if a person pushes you, they have absolutely no chance at fighting back, assuming you can hit your shots. Now, I'm a fan of Battlefield sniping when it is a 2-hit body shot and a 1-hit headshot with moderate velocity so that it takes some skill to lead shots, and then I don't think you have to do anything to sniping past that. I am certainly not a fan of the Sweetspots system that was first introduced in Battlefield 1. It is not a skillful system. Some people argue, well, I know my sweet spot distance, so I simply sit that distance away from my target and get free one-shot kills to the chest. First of all, you don't fucking do that, right? Like, some people claim that. 90% of them are lying. I would be willing to bet 99% of people that got sweet spot kills in Battlefield 1 were simply doing it by accident. I know when I use a sniper in Battlefield 1 and I sweet spot somebody, it is always a surprise. It is almost never deliberate. So I just think if sweet spots are in the next Battlefield game, they should 100% remove those as well. I just think it gives people accidental kills. And on top of that, let's say you body shot somebody and they're just outside of the sweet spot range. In Battlefield 1, you would still do sometimes 90 plus damage to that player, which does mark them for death. But here comes the second half of this video, and this is just a very friendly reminder that all of this stuff you're seeing and hearing about the next Battlefield game can change in Battlefield Labs, and it likely will change. And that can be said for every single thing in the game. This class system that a lot of people don't like, I would be willing to bet they are not going to go forward with it. I guarantee you they're going to balance these weapons out. I absolutely promise you they might make changes to snipers and all of these class perks and the way signature traits work. So I think saying the next game is, over already and getting completely bent out of shape over leaked footage of a pre-alpha is just pure brain rot. If you are lucky enough to have been invited to Battlefield Labs, and if you are lucky enough to have taken advantage of that invitation to actually play and really think about what's going on in Battlefield 6, and you don't like the weapon balance, and you don't like these classes, and you don't like some of these things that I'm talking about, it's your responsibility to give feedback to them, because this is the entire purpose of the Battlefield Labs system, to make sure the next Battlefield game releases in a state that is acceptable to the Battlefield community. So if you don't like something, and you are in Battlefield Labs, you should be telling them what is wrong and how you would fix it, and you should be giving detailed feedback, and maybe they will listen to you and change it. And if they see enough people complaining, I assume they have some sort of running list of priorities internally. I don't know this for certain, but I'm just guessing. I assume they keep track of this stuff, and the top things they're actively paying attention to. The whole point is, do your part if you are lucky enough to be invited to this Battlefield Labs system, and help make Battlefield better, okay? So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoy the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and of course join the Discord and follow the streams. All links are in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.